When Zhang Linghe's character broke down in the finale of this second Too Much, the reaction wasn't just great acting. Chinese entertainment media described it as a callback to Qiangyao-style tears, the melodramatic acting tradition from Taiwanese and mainland romance dramas that peaked in the 1990s. That comparison is strange on its face, and it's the real subject of this video, not the scene itself, but what it took for that specific label to get attached to it. Start with the scene, because the label only makes sense once you've seen what it's describing. In the final episode, Zhang Linghe's character, Mu Rongqingyi, is trapped inside a fire. As he nears unconsciousness, the scene shifts into a hallucinated memory sequence, a reunion with relatives who have already died. It ends on a single image, one tear, from one eye, rolling down slowly, with no accompanying sound of distress. Chinese outlets reported that related clips and hashtags climbed entertainment search rankings, and that Dragon TV compiled a highlight reel of his crying scenes around the coverage. Those are the reported facts. The framing that followed, textbook crying scene, a revival of Qiangyao aesthetics, is commentary attributed to media and audience reaction, not a neutral description, and that distinction is going to matter more as this story develops. Because a single scene, however well executed, doesn't usually earn a label like that. Labels get attached to patterns. So the next question isn't was this scene good, it's does he do this more than once? He does. Across this second Too Much, the same character breaks down repeatedly, and the physical vocabulary barely changes scene to scene. There's a collapse after his shot at his brother's wedding. There's a scene of him kneeling in the rain. There's a scene built around a severed tendon, played less as an emotional moment than a physiological one, visible strain in the veins, broken breathing, the body registering pain before the face does. In each case, reporting on the scenes emphasizes the same absence, no scream, no raised voice, just controlled physical signals doing the emotional work. One striking scene can be a coincidence of good direction and a good day on set. A technique repeated across an entire season, with the same restrained grammar every time, is no longer a moment, it's a method. That's the first shift the anomaly forces. This isn't a story about one great cry. It's a story about a chosen, repeatable approach. And a repeatable approach is exactly what turns into a signature. This is the part that separates a great scene from an actual asset. A viral moment fades once the next viral moment replaces it. A recognizable technique doesn't, it becomes something producers can cast toward and something audiences learn to watch for. In an industry with an oversupply of young leads competing for the same narrow band of period drama and romance roles, the actor who does restraint instead of volume is a differentiator in a way that the actor who had one great scene never is. That's the second shift, technique becomes identity. Not Mu Rongqingyi's identity, the actor's. Which brings the story back to the label itself, because that's where the identity gets built by someone other than the actor. Qiangyao dramas were built around heightened, operatic emotional expression, tears as spectacle, delivered with theatrical intensity. What's being described in Zhang Linghe's scenes is close to the opposite, minimal, restrained, almost withheld. So why would media reach for that specific comparison to describe something that doesn't actually resemble it? One reasonable reading, the comparison isn't really about technique at all, it's about audience memory. Viewers who grew up on that earlier generation of romance dramas carry a strong emotional association with the phrase Qiangyao tears, even though the current performance style is technically almost the reverse of what that era produced. Attaching that language to a new performer's work borrows an older audience's nostalgia and points it at a current star. That's a media and marketing choice layered on top of the performance, not a literal description of it, and it's worth noticing any time outlets reach for a legacy reference to sell something contemporary. This doesn't make the acting less genuine. It means the vocabulary used to praise it is doing double duty, selling a technique and a generation-spanning brand at the same time. The same labeling pattern shows up again outside this one drama, which is the detail that turns a coincidence into a pattern worth naming. Circulated stills reportedly showing a character collapsing in the snow in another production were picked up and framed identically, restrained, single tear, described in coverage as stubborn, unyielding, collapsing. That material is more loosely sourced than the officially aired finale scene, so it's worth treating with more caution. but the consistency of the framing is the point. Outlets keep reaching for the same vocabulary: control, restraint, one tear standing in for a full collapse, regardless of which project or character is on screen. When the same descriptive pattern attaches to multiple, unrelated performances, that tells you the narrative is being built around the actor specifically, not around any single role. A related moment reinforces the same mechanism from a different angle. In another production, a tear-wiping gesture that wasn't in the script, one character comforting another, wiping her tears, was read by viewers as a quiet emotional beat rather than an explicit line of dialogue. Fans interpreting an unscripted physical gesture as more meaningful than the written scene is the same audience instinct at work. Physical restraint reads as more significant than words. That instinct is exactly what a signature built on restraint is positioned to exploit, intentionally or not. There's also a structural reason this specific brand of performance travels unusually well outside its home market, which matters for a channel with an international audience. Viewers following C-drama through subtitles don't fully receive dialogue delivery, pacing, tone, emphasis, the way a domestic audience does. A lot of that gets flattened in translation. A physical technique doesn't have that problem. A controlled breath, a single tear, a trembling jaw reads the same whether the viewer is in Shanghai or Sao Paulo. That's a narrower, evidence-supported observation about why this type of scene circulates so easily on global platforms, not a claim about how the whole C-drama export system works, but it's a real part of why a technique-driven performer's clips move further internationally than a purely dialogue-driven performance would. Put the 5 pieces together and the shape of the story is different. From here are some memorable crying scenes. A single scene became a technique once it repeated. The technique became a signature once it was recognizable across roles. The signature became a media narrative once outlets reached for a nostalgic label to describe it. And that narrative becomes a positioning tool for an actor competing in a saturated field of romance and period leads. The one who does restraint is a specific, marketable slot in the market, reinforced by a comparison built for audience memory rather than technical accuracy. That last step is the one easiest to miss, so it's worth being specific about what positioning actually means here. It isn't a claim about Zhang Linghe's intentions, and it isn't a claim about a contract or a management decision. There's no evidence for either. It's a claim about what the accumulated pattern makes available to him going forward. Once a technique is publicly attached to a name and reinforced by repeated media framing, it becomes a reference point casting directors, marketing teams, and audiences can reach for the next time a restrained, high-stakes emotional role comes up. That's a market advantage that exists independently of whether it was ever planned. Whether he leans into that positioning, moves away from it, or lets it fade with the next role is a separate question the available material doesn't answer, but the positioning itself, at this point, is already established by the pattern of coverage, not by any single scene. None of this means the performance is manufactured or that the emotional impact isn't real. Restraint is a difficult, legitimate acting choice, and audiences responding to it is a genuine reaction, not a manufactured one. What it means is that the story behind One Perfect Tear was never really about one scene. It's about how a repeatable choice becomes a brand, and how the language critics use to praise that choice ends up shaping an actor's market position as much as the performance itself does. If you like entertainment stories that go past the headline, the kind that look for the quiet signals most coverage misses, Rabbit News Hallyu was built for exactly that. Subscribe if you want analysis, not just updates.